Section 2, how to speak to legislators about rescuing babies. The first thing I want to say is do the research. Who are the state legislators in your district? What are their names? What values do they find important? Can you go to their website and read the values that they have? What are the main points that they ran their campaign on? Are they pro-life? You need to know them and they need to know you. There shouldn't be this huge separation between the people and our legislators. They are servants of the people. They represent the people. That is their job. That's why they're the House of Representatives. So do the research on your local legislators. When it comes to contacting your legislators, what we want to do first is we want them to craft and introduce bills that would abolish abortion. This is our end goal. So when you do your homework on them, it's important that you have a mindset when you're reaching out to them that, yes, you have a goal in mind, but you also need to reach out to them in love. They don't know you at all. And you are reaching out to them, you're reaching out to your representative. If you don't come to them in a loving way, it's going to show. And we as Christians are to have a disposition of love. We're to share the truth, absolutely, but we need to come in a loving way. Remember that our magistrates are made in the image of God, and they are put there by God, right? They may be in that position as in a position of judgment. God has maybe put them there as judgment over our nation, but we are to go to them in a loving way, respectfully, but sharing the truth. While something to keep in mind when we are talking to our legislators is we're not preaching in front of an abortion mill, right? We shouldn't have the same urgency in the way that we speak to our legislators as someone who's walking into an abortion clinic to kill their baby, right? We're in a dire situation. We're calling out to them. We're giving them the law, all of these things. Well, yes, it's an urgent matter. Babies are dying, and we should be speaking to our legislators in truth. But remember, you don't have to rush. It's not as if behind the doors that you're calling out to them, a baby is going to die. So there should be a different disposition that we go to our legislators in. Part of our strategy is I recommend finding out who the legislators in your district are, and find out if they claim to be pro-life. If you go to a legislator in your district, you can affect their ability to be reelected. You are directly going to reflect if they have your support or not. You can gather people in your local community and have an effect on them. So I recommend looking at the local legislators in your area, finding out if they're pro-life or not. If you live maybe in a Democratic-focused area where that's the majority, you may, I say contact them still, but you may want to reach out to someone who claims they're pro-life and push the issue on them first. But also you do want to speak to the local legislators in your district, whether they're pro-life or pro-choice. And if they're pro-choice, you're going to share the gospel with them. Call them to turn from their sin regardless if they say they believe in or not. We need to use the word of God consistently, and we need to share the truth with them. Now, if they are someone who is claiming to be pro-life, we need to push them to be consistent with what they believe. We need to push them to do what is right. And if they're a person of faith, we need to hold them to their convictions, point them to the Word of God, and remind them what the Word of God has to say. So those are some of the strategies in doing the research, reaching out initially.
60 million murdered in our country, that's a scary count. Wombs become a death camp, trash can a burial. American Holocaust, more than all the soldiers lost in every single war. It's an era marked in gold. The innocent